Are you asking yourself, what is a flashback? Or are you wanting to know how to use a flashback in your story or your movie? Then you found the right video. In this video, I'll be explaining what is flashback and how to successfully use flashbacks. What is a flashback? It's a scene that takes the reader or the viewer back in time from the current point in the story or the movie. It's used to show important backstory that will help explain what's going on in the main story. I'll be jumping into some examples towards the end of this video, but just for your reference, have you ever seen the series Arrow on the CW? It's a DC comic character. They use flashbacks in every episode, and if you want to really understand flashbacks, I would recommend going to Netflix or going to the CW app and watching it. It will help you tremendously when it comes to flashbacks. If you're already getting some great content and some great information from this video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for some more creative writing lessons, which includes novels, fiction, nonfiction, and also screenplays. Now let's jump into the 5 most important writing tips for flashbacks. So let's jump into the first tip. There needs to be a trigger to start the flashback. Second tip is the trigger needs to propel a return to the present story. Tip number 3, make sure it's not too long of a flashback. Tip number 4 is flashbacks need to advance the story along, keep them relevant with the main story. Tip number 5, don't go crazy with too many. It'll take away from your main story that you're telling. So let's jump into one of the videos. I'm going to take a short clip from the CW's Arrow for the first season, and I'm going to go have you watch it, then afterwards I'm going to talk about it. So let's jump into it.
Okay, so we took care of that. Good call. Now we can make up for lost time. If you're not too sick of fish, I suggest we find some leggy models and eat sushi off of them. What do you say? What the hell? Hey! We've got!
If anybody's making it out of here, it's gonna be him! So sorry, I thought I'd have more time! I'm not the man you think I am! I didn't build our city! I failed it! And I wasn't the only one!
Mr. Queen. Mr. Queen! Did your father survive that accident? I ask the questions. You give me the answers. Did he make it to the island? Did he tell you anything?
Yes, he did.
What did he tell you, Mr. Queen?
He told me I'm gonna kill you.
You're delusional. You're zip-cuffed to that chair.
Not anymore. killed that man. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. Nobody can know my secret.
So the whole base plot for the CW's Arrow, which is based off of Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow comic from DC Comics, is a guy that was trapped on an island for 5 years. Everybody thought he was dead, but in reality, he was on this island learning how to use a bow and arrow and learning how to survive. So in the first season, in the first episode, they do flashbacks to show important things that you need to know about how Oliver Queen, who is Arrow, learn how to fight. So the first thing shows how the boat crashed, right? The flashback goes back, shows the boat sinking, how Oliver Queen was the only survivor from that. And then it takes us back into the present time. And then it shows when he gets kidnapped in the first episode. Him and his best friend are kidnapped, and these guys are trying to get this information from them. So as you saw in the short clip, Oliver Queen and Tommy are walking down the alley to their car when that van pulls up on them, and they tranquilize dart both Tommy and Oliver Queen. But Oliver Queen sees the guy who's taking out the trash get shot and killed. And that propels us into the flashback, because you saw how bad the city looked. You saw how bad the city is. Obviously, there's murder going on just out in daylight. So when you go in the flashback, we see that Oliver Queen's father tells him that he didn't help the city, but he destroyed it, right? And this is very important because now you see, okay, so he's not the only one that destroyed the city. So when it propels us from that sentence, it propels us into the next scene. We see the guy trying to get information about Oliver Queen, if the father lived and if the father told him anything, right? And then you go into the cool action scene of him just killing everybody and no one knowing his secret about what's about to happen. But you saw those little tips that I told you about, how they propelled the story forward, how the narrative is being helped with this flashback, how they propelled us out of the flashback into the present time with the father giving that last thing saying, I'm not the only one who destroyed the city. And then pretty much the first thing that these guys that kidnapped them said is your father get to the island with you? And did he tell you anything? So by doing that, it also parallels together. So I hope this video is really helping out with how flashbacks work and how to help the narrative, how to help the present, but also tell the story, the backstory and why that flashback is so important. So I hope these 5 tips help you with creating your flashbacks for your story. Please stay tuned for my next video, and please check out these other 2, the playlist right here, or check out this video. And I can't wait to see you on my next video, guys. Thank you for watching.